Alright, so you're probably watching this video because you may be interested in moving into a detail shop and you want to know what it's going to take. So I'm going to go over how I got in here and what I have learned in the past 6 months of running my detail shop here in Texas. So first things first is getting into a shop, finding the right space and the right location. The location is everything. A good location you cannot beat. I'm going to talk about, I'm leasing this place, so I'm going to talk about all of the stuff I had to do to lease this place and get in it. So first thing I'm going to say is, I'm sure you've heard the saying, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So that has came true in me moving into this place. And about what you know is about who you know. So having the connection to get into this place helped me. But numbers don't lie, business doesn't lie. You still have to show proof that you're a profitable and successful business to make it work. So don't think just knowing people is going to get you in the door. You still have to provide that you are successful. So you're going to have to mock up a business plan on your business. So what you plan to do, how you plan to make money, how you plan to succeed here. And then of course you're going to have to provide for financials, whether that's tax returns or proof of funds. They're going to want to see that, so I had to provide that as well. Getting in here, that's kind of sums it up, making sure you have the money to move in here, and then what your long-term plans are about moving into the shop. And you want to be as detailed as you can with that business plan, so when you present it you have full confidence in what you're doing, and you just don't seem like you don't know what you're doing, because if they get a taste of that, obviously they're not going to probably want to roll the dice on you. And then the term of a length for commercial, typically in the commercial realm you see longer period leases, like a 5, 10, 15-year one. Once again, I was fortunate enough to do a 1-year one, kind of trial and error, see if it is working out, and then after 1 year I'll probably extend it to a longer period. So that's kind of those two things about the actual lease and getting into the building. It's going to come down on what the landlord is going to want to require, or just what insurance requires themselves. So I had to up my policy to like a $3 million policy, so that increased my insurance by a few hundred a month as well. So take that into account. And then once you got all that figured out, in terms of actually getting in the building, you're now going to have to, of course, finalize the lease, know what you're responsible for paying, all that good stuff, and then you got to go get your utilities done. So go to the city or county or wherever that property is and register the utilities in your name, pay the deposits that you need to pay, get that set up. Then you need to look at certificate of occupancy here in Texas. I don't know if it's going to be different where you're at, but this is my experience. Certificate of occupancy, got to file for that, apply for that, pay any fees for that. Next thing too, if you're going to want a sign on the building or in the yard, check out city or county regulations on what is allowed, what the restrictions are in terms of the size of the sign, if there's lights, all that stuff. Pay those permit fees, get that approved. Now you got all that stuff set up. And then now once you got those things set up, now you got your certificate of occupancy. Now you're legally able to open your business, open doors, and conduct your business. So that is getting in the door. That is a short summary of what I did to get in the door. And now I'm going to talk about more of the business side, what I've learned in the past 6 months. I'm going to talk about employees actually running the business and some hiccups in the road. So I grew a little bit too fast than I probably should have, in the sense of hiring more people than I needed to. So I've had to take a step back, run numbers, and see what works. So having to fire people, especially me being young, and if it's your first time having to do that, it's a tough conversation and it's hard. So that took me a little bit to adjust to. But one thing that helped me is you got to keep in mind, like at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself and you have to look out for the business, because if you don't, your whole ship is going to sink. So you got to learn that it's not personal too, you know, it's not anything that you did that caused them to get fired or not be able to work here anymore. In my case, it was they just weren't performing. The quality of the details were not to my expectations, and it was costing me more money to have a certain amount of people here than it was to not. And so you have to look at your business in that sense of money, what it's costing you to have employees, and if they're able to perform and bring more business in for you. So having to adjust and learn that aspect of the business is one thing that I learned and figured out very quickly, that managing people and the numbers of the business, bringing on the right people. Good people are hard to find, but they are easy to keep. So our shop manager, Joseph, is wonderful. He has experience in managing. He's fired people. He's done thousands of paint corrections and coatings. He knows what he's doing. I didn't really have to train him besides what I expect in terms of quality and everything. So that was a huge headache saver for me, was bringing on the right people. So I've learned now that I'm a little bit more cautious of who I hire to work here with us, because at first I was just bringing in any people that I could take, because there's a lot on my plate, having to open up this shop, perform the details, run the backside of the business. All of that stuff comes into account. And so I was just bringing on people to help take some of the workload off. But in reality, it was running myself thin and costing me more money than it should have. So I had to take a step back. That's one thing that you may run into, is sometimes having to scale back on your business and see where things line up for numbers and making profit and being successful still. So that's a big key right there. Making sure you're following all the rules and regulations of the city. That's one thing to keep in mind as well. Another thing that I've had to learn and struggle with too, I know that I'm young and I don't know it all, so I'm always constantly trying to learn from others for advice on business and all that. But one thing I've had to learn is that my job and my role is to run the business. I am the business owner. I'm no longer, or I am still owner operator, but if I operate in my business, it's still just a job. So now my main focus is on growing the business, make sure the business is running rather than working in the business. So you got to work on your business now, having to make that adjustment. And for me, that's a struggle, because I do enjoy doing the details, and sometimes I feel guilty for not being involved in the details. So that's one thing I've struggled with as well. You got to figure out your marketing budget, and if you're going to pay for any ads. I think where we're at, I've also been fortunate enough to not have to pay a penny in ads online, because where we are located, we're kind of the only option right now. And as long as we can continue to grow our business, grow our customer base, get good reviews, I haven't had the need to run ads for people to find us. And having this location, as you can see, what? Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Our neighbor came, so I forgot where I was. But finding good help, people that are better than you at what you know you're not good at, that is a big key into what I have learned. And you're gonna learn real quick once you get into a shop and having to learn the business that it is a big headache. You're going to have to learn to control your stress and learn how to balance both work, business, and your personal life. So that has been a big adjustment for me too. You know, you never feel like you're doing enough, and you never feel like you're getting enough done. Because for me personally, my mind's going everywhere about what else I can do to make this business successful. Word of mouth, you know, having good relationships with customers, you want to keep that. You need to learn how to talk to people, how to sell people, and just honestly, just being a good person. You know, if you're in a smaller community, that can go a long way, just word of mouth. And I think that's what has also helped us tremendously, is just word of mouth. You know, we do good work, we're honest, and people will share about that with their family and friends or online. So building those connections with not only other business people but your customers. So don't sway away from your customers, because in reality that's what's keeping you in business. And that's not really something I've learned, but that's just how I've always gone about my business, is wanting to provide the best job we can and making sure every customer leaves happy. And having those good employees helps you realize that the business can still run without you. So that has also been a big help. So I know now, you know, if I'm sick or if I got to go out of town for something, that the shop and business is still going to stay afloat because there's somebody here that I can trust to keep running the shop. That's the biggest thing for me too, was letting go of the reins and being able to find trust in somebody else. And you're going to have to learn real quick that, yeah, you could do it all yourself if you wanted to, but that's just going to run you thin and it's going to burn you out. So you got to bring in that help to delegate a lot of the tasks of the actual operations of the business. Taxes, you got to make sure you're putting money aside for taxes. When it comes to accounting, everybody's different. You can pay somebody to do it. I do it myself. I have an Excel spreadsheet that I keep track of all my receipts and add those into it, so everything is there for my taxes. You got to put money away for taxes. If you're going to be paying those quarterly, make sure you pay those quarterly. All that stuff. One thing, obviously, another thing that I've had to learn too is now it's a bigger game with money. So you're probably going to be making a little bit more money when you move into a shop, because having that brick and mortar place justifies your business in the eyes of the consumer. So you're going to be getting a little more traffic maybe, as people are excited about a new business opening up in their area. They're going to want to check it out. And you're going to have to learn how to manage more money coming in. Making sure you're not spending it on dumb stuff. And for me, I reinvest a lot of money into the business. So one thing too that you may learn as you go, if you're getting into a shop, is you're going to be spending pretty much everything you make in terms of keeping the shop up to date, and you're always going to want to provide better stuff, quality equipment and chemicals, and outfit your shop to make it look presentable and nice for customers. So reinvesting in the business to continue to help it grow, and just knowing how much you can spend. You gotta watch your money so you have enough put away come the slower seasons wherever you're at. For us, we are right in the middle of our slow season here in January and February. We're gonna see how it holds up for us. Right now it's been fine. We're still sitting at our averages. But making sure you have money set aside for rainy days and when times are slow for business. Whoa, somebody just ran a curb. So those are some key points for me too. Setting up payroll, that's something to keep in mind as well. You got to find a good payroll service that you want to use, something that's comfortable for your budget and what you need. Maybe you don't need something that's overkill. Make sure you learn all that stuff. What's up? Hey, you got my banner? Huh? What you mean? To clean it? Hit me up. We can do it this week. Just the inside? Yeah, we can do it this week. Yeah. All right, man. Huh? All right. That was a buddy stopping by. I was talking about W-2, yeah, employees. So finding a tax software, payroll software for your employees. You got to make sure you get all that stuff set up. Depending on what state you're in, there may be like a workforce commission that you got to make sure you sign up and pay those kind of taxes for unemployment. So that doesn't come and bite you in the butt. There's a lot of stuff that I have figured out on my own and wasn't told about when running this business. Having to pay, for me, like the Texas commuter or something like that. There's some other site or business that I had to pay for having a business in Texas. So staying on top of all of those regulations, those fees and taxes, learning that, take into account that you're gonna have to be paying taxes on behalf of the employees you have. So you're not just running the payroll for the employees, you're also paying taxes on their behalf as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind for employees. I use Gusto, Gusto for my payroll. I love it. How you want to pay, how you want to set up pay. If you want to pay bi-weekly, weekly, pay structure, if you're going to pay hourly, a flat rate per week, if you're going to offer commissions for upsells, figure all that out. That's always going to depend on how you want to run your business. So for me, I kind of have a flat rate and they can earn commissions on upsells. So that's how I have mine structured up. And then of course, any tips, they'll keep tips. So that's how I have mine set up. I'll pay them weekly because my personal preference, I would want to get paid weekly. So that's how I have mine set up. And then software. So I use Urable. It is a car detailing software. I've used it since the beginning and I absolutely love it. We can do everything within the app. We can text and call our customers. There's a virtual shop that they can book through online. It keeps track of all our detail jobs. We're able to scan the VINs and run Carfax and upload Carfax for what we've done to the car. Everybody can have it on their personal cell phone so they can see the schedule and what we're doing that day, that week. You can request time off through the app. You can even you can't run payroll through the app, but you can track hourly through the app as well. So there's just a bunch of stuff, and I'm not even using it to my full capacity yet. And hey, they ain't paying me to say this. I just like the software that we have. So I'm not even using it to its full capacity, and it works amazing. You know, you can always or sorry, you can't always. You can even account for consumables, like what it's costing you per job in chemicals. You can have all that stuff set up. I really love it. So if y'all want to check that out, I can maybe leave a link with a referral code where you can maybe get some money off your first month if you sign up. They have 3 different plans, I believe, ranging from $100 to $150 or $200 a month. I pay $100 a month for the Pro. Right now, that is all I need where my business is at right now, and it works awesome. Everything we run through that app, we're able to integrate our Square software. I use Square to take payments, so everything is kind of paid through that. So everything just being in one place and automated. It sends automated messages about reminders and confirmations. You can send links to pay through. Customer gets notified when their appointment is confirmed. They get a reminder the day before. It gets notified when you complete the job. I mean, it offers just so much. All right. I mean, it just offers so much, and you can play around and see if it would suit your business, but that's what I use. You want to be able to delegate and automate as much as you can, so you're not having to sit there and physically run payroll, physically keep track of jobs and customers. And they also have a messaging center in Yerbal, so you can get a free number. I think it's an additional $35 a month that I pay for, and it looks just like a normal text on the iPhone or Android, but on our end it's all through the app on the message center, so I can be at home and I can be contacting the customer, and it shows all of the history of communication. So if our managers at the shop needs to communicate, it can show what I've been texting previously. So it shows the history of all the messages, so everyone's on the same page. So that's been an awesome thing. You can run text campaigns now through it as well, free of charge, as long as you have that two-way messaging center stuff set up. You can send out blast campaigns for an exclusive club or a promotion or something to all your customers. So that's been amazing as well. So in terms of your software, payroll, all that good stuff, I think those are good things to focus on, because in reality it will help your business. Having all those things that have helped automate my business and almost keep the business running even when I go to sleep. Having a website, staying on top of trends for social media and Google, build up a Google business page, get a bunch of 5-star reviews. That way organically people can find you when they look up car detailing near me. You want to be that first one that pops up in your area, so you don't have to pay for ads like I am. Or I'm not paying for ads, but you get what I mean. All of that stuff has been a key for my business in the past 6 months of running this shop. And I'm still continuing to learn new things about running this business and what it's going to take. And to sum it up, is it hard? Yes. Is it stressful? Yes. But to me, it is all worth it. It is just being able to manage it and have the tolerance and the mental capacity to just keep going, even when things get hard, even when customers aren't happy. And I wouldn't trade it for the world in a sense, because I do enjoy what I do.